to survive like anyone else. And so I should be able to choose when I decide and if I decide to make a family and what that looks like, right? And being able to build in that way is so critical to breaking cycles of poverty, right? Like, to get to choose what you're going to do and when. And not everyone has that. We don't have comprehensive sex education, right? People barely understand how a period works. Like, you know what I mean? People are afraid to talk about vaginas, like, and yet feel really strongly about something that they know so little about. And that's what I'm just like, you know, it's complicated because you're dealing with the most intimate, the most vulnerable part of yourself. When you're pregnant, you're scared, right? When you're pregnant, you're like, what is going on? What's happening? If you're the other person responsible for the pregnancy, unfortunately, a lot of times they just bounce. But even then, you know, as a partner in a pregnancy, you're also scared too. There's so much that you don't know, and you just have to trust your gut. And part of having access to adequate professional, compassionate abortion care is making that choice. I don't know. I've never really understood when people are like, I don't believe in this. And I'm like, well, it exists, you know, like it exists for a reason. It might not exist for you right now. You might not need it, but someone else does. And they should just kind of be left alone. Like people just trying to live.
Right, right.
You know? And that's part of, I can't unknow what I know. I can't unhear what I've heard, and I can't unsee what I've seen, which is people need this. People need access to healthcare. Like, and every person's experience is their own, and they just need to be not judged. They need to be supported. That'd be great. There's this really great group called Sister Song that came up with the framework of reproductive justice. You know. And of course is led by Black women because, you know, we just know. We know what we need, right? And we need a support, and we need our children to have support. We need the people that decide they don't want to have children to have support. It's all part of the community of how we survive. And abortion is just a part of this spectrum of what people will likely experience. And it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. God, I wish it wasn't. I wish it wasn't made complicated and
Right.
stigmatized. It just makes me very sad, actually. So I'm really proud to be doing this work. I'm really lucky to have learned so much and in the decade that I've been working in healthcare, you know.
So your overall belief is like, no matter what the situation,
Absolutely.
the woman should have the choice of having an abortion.
The person who's pregnant
Right.
should be able to decide if, how, and when they're going to proceed. And in whatever way they choose, they should be supported. You know, like, it's not anyone's place to judge or cast anything. If someone needs something, say, okay, when, what you need. Whatever you need, okay, I got you. That's how communities should work. And I think what gets complicated about the pro-choice, anti-choice dynamic, you know, pro-abortion, anti, anything that's written in these dualities is that people's real experiences get erased, right?
Mm-hmm.
When people are like, I'm pro-choice, and I'm like, I've never called myself that. Because I know that, I don't know, poverty is not always something that gives you options for, you know what I mean? Like,
True.
that's the real shit. Poverty doesn't give you a choice sometimes. Sometimes you have to do things because they're necessary, right? And you just need support. You need people to be nice to you. So whatever the situation, trust that person who is physically dealing with it to deal with it. I'm not going to tell someone else what to do with their body. You know? Whatever the situation, whatever someone needs, they need help and they need to be loved and they need to be treated like a human being.
You know, I had a view. I ain't gonna say I had a view on it. I guess I still got a view on it.
You should, yeah.
I felt like if a woman was raped, something like that, you know, some sort like that, I was all for it. But if you had two 23-year-olds that just had sex and no protection, and, oh, I got pregnant and I want to have an abortion, I wasn't totally with that. But the difference with me is I will not pick it and stand in her way of making that choice. I still feel like she has the right to make that choice, even if I don't agree with that choice. And I think a lot of people miss the part of it's her choice, whether you agree with it or not agree.
Well, I would say even it's more complicated than that, right? Because, like, I can't tell you the number of people that I see that I have to explain basic biology to. Because in this country, we don't have comprehensive sex education. Those 23-year-olds probably don't know shit about contraception, right? They don't know about condom usage. They don't know how to use a condom properly. They don't know how hormonal birth control works. She barely understands her period, right? So when you think about it in that context of, like, people are engaging in a normal, healthy human behavior. Sex is normal. Sex is necessary, Jesus.
You got that right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, pleasure and how we communicate with other people is, like, important. It's part of being a human. It's part of being there with someone. It's very, very essential to living. But if you are not taught how to minimize risk, then whose fault is that?
And that's true too.
It is a fault of the society. If we are in a car and you don't put on a seatbelt, no one enforces putting on a seatbelt, that person should have died in that accident, right? I don't know if I believe that.
Should have died? No, I can't.
Precisely. So, like, a pregnancy is, shit happens. Oh, no one was planning this. Oh, we didn't know. We didn't understand the laws of physics in the accident. We don't understand how contraception works. We don't understand how our bodies operate. I have had to explain pelvic exams to adults. Like people that we don't know. Our culture does not encourage understanding sex. Our culture profits from it, but does not understand it. And yet, if you engage in sex and there is an outcome that is not desirable, you must deal with that. And that is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna give, people are born with tools and yet they're not taught how to use them in a responsible way. And if they do, sometimes things happen, you know, like, who knows?
And I see that. And like I said, if the choice should still be able to be made, still made for you. And I get that part, and I definitely agree with that part. Even if I don't agree with the abortion part, I still agree with the part that she should still have the choice of rather to.
That's all. I mean, unfortunately, like, part of abortion stigma is part of what restricts access to it, right? When people are scared of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's like, I mean, you know, that's what Dr. Martin Luther King said. It's not what did he say? The loudness of our antagonists. It's the silence of the people that we're just kind of hanging out. I mean, I definitely didn't quote that properly.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. And the more that we can, you know, and this is why I bring up reproductive justice, right? Reproductive justice isn't just about this is the abortion and it's right or wrong. Reproductive justice is like, I don't know, like, we got some real fucked up shit that we inherited. Like, our survival is complicated. Like, it doesn't make sense and it's scary. And we have to deal with that immediate physical reality, and no one else does. So why shouldn't we be able to really build our community so that we're able to grow together? Taking it away from this really individual moment and putting it in the context of what our communities need to survive. And like that is how we need to talk about this. Because isolated incidents, right, are their own narratives. But all of those things are either quieted or become a really, really cacophonous noise. So we need to understand how we as communities can grow. And abortion's part of that. Like, it is. It is what it is.
I always say it is what it is.
It is what it is. Abortion exists for a fucking reason. We need it as a community to grow. We need it as a community to survive. And
Right.
it's complicated, and people just need to be treated like people, you know? Like,
Gotcha. And I agree with that 100%.
yeah, like that's where, like, that's all I've ever believed in. And I do this work because it's necessary, because no one else is doing it.
Right.
You look around, there's not people lining up to help abortion clinics. They're just figuring it out.
Right.
And it's tough, but we do what's necessary, because that's survival.
You know, before we wrap up, tell me about the future of the Seratones. I know everything's on pause right now.
It's actually,
but-
I'm actually
but-
writing a lot, though. I have a write tomorrow. I've been writing with a lot of different people, and like touring is on pause, but who knows? I'm excited, actually.
But eventually, things are going to get back going. So when it gets back going, what's the future of the Seratones? Anything
Gonna
coming
get
up?
on the road.
Any
I mean,
secret album dropping? I mean, what's the future?
the future is love and algorithms.
Oh God, the dreaded A word.
Dun,
And me
dun,
being a
dun.
blogger, you know I know all about that.
That's the future.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Been around the world and these damn cats.
Algorithm.
Love and algorithms. Did you ever have a bunch of cats around your house? You know what I'm talking about.
Neighbors feeding them.
This interview. So, yeah, this has been great.
Thank y'all.
They need to check out. Tell people where they found your albums, what your social media handles, you know, all that.
Yeah, it's at Seratones Instagram, Seratones on Facebook. You can, seratones.band is our website. If you Google us, you're going to find us. It's around.
Yeah.
Been around the world. I need to water my damn, actually I don't need to water my plants because it rained today.
Too bad you didn't have your guitar on you. But oh well.
I know.
On part
Next
two.
time. Well, next time we'll have to do like a, we'll do a session where
Like a
a strip down
unplugged.
thing. Yeah, that'd be cool.
She's not just playing guitar right now.
Yes, I am.
Oh, don't tilt her. She been ran those stairs and got it. We have an unplugged.
Well, I'm about to go have dinner, so
Oh no! Don't let us hold it
dinner
up for no
time. I'm hungry. I ain't
dinner
much today.
time. And as I say, there it is.
There it is.